Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Added Time FPL, our weekly Fantasy Premier League football podcast, unless you get caught off guard, which is what happened last week. But nevertheless, we're back with another video for Gameweek 28, episode 27, but we're going to call it 28, it's fine. Because we had a midweek game week that caught us off guard last week, starting with the Tuesday deadline fixture. We're going to quickly talk about it and what our plans will be coming into Gameweek 28. Mike, how was your Gameweek 27?
Bro, it's all over the place right now. I mean, Salah still remains one of the best captain choices, but the pain that is Cole Palmer right now for Chelsea supporters and FPL, 68 or something % of FPL players is insane.
Yeah.
And then there was the chaos of like Watkins had a slight injury, Isak had a slight concern, and the big news is Cunha. Because this bruh got himself sent off in the FA Cup. And I think 2 weeks ago, we were touting him as a really good player to look at for the next upcoming fixtures. Well, guess what? He's gone.
Not anymore.
He's no longer an option. And it was just, the FA Cup just threw up so much chaos on last week that it's insane. But I think the standout for me is, I think Arsenal look like they could, especially with that 7 drumming they did midweek against PSV. They could look to be a strong team for the run at the end of the season. But I'm eyeing Bournemouth. I've got a transfer this week for a Bournemouth player because, and I think that Kluivert is doing his thing. Keeps scoring goals, keeps assisting, involved everywhere.
Yeah. On that midweek fixture, though, for Arsenal keeping strong, Liverpool also won their midweek game against PSG, not PSV, all the PSs. They won 1-0 away from a home, so that probably gives them confidence moving into this game week as well.
They've played some top teams and conceded no goals, except that they lost to Plymouth Argyle or something. Aside from that,
the Plymouth. Yeah, no, I told you I need to buy a shirt. I think they're going to win the FA Cup. But yeah, I think that with the way Liverpool are playing, okay, I have a Liverpool colleague, and he's like pretty convinced that they won the league, and I think so too. And he said something to me today, and I was like, you know what? You're probably right. He's like, Salah. If Salah wins the league and potentially Champions League, he'll win Ballon d'Or.
I think Salah.
That's how well he's been playing this year.
No, he's on another level. Salah is proving every doubter wrong. Peak physique. He's at the top of the game. And I think, that vacuum left by a prime Messi and a prime Ronaldo, right, is now being filled by a prime Salah. And I don't think we saw this coming 2-3 years ago, 3 seasons, 4 seasons. They were starting to say some things like, he's a one-season wonder, blah, blah, blah. Then he's won a few trophies, not as many trophies because Liverpool haven't won that many trophies. But he's just probably the best in the world right now.
He will break his own record of 303 points. That was the previous FPL record that he beat. Previous was Suarez before that. He has 303 as the last record. I think it was the 2017-2018 season. We're 10 game weeks away from the end of the season, and he's got 291 points. Like, it's just to give you an idea of how great of a season he's having.
There is really the Egyptian God card this season. And the saddest part about it, though, is like, it's know
his last season.
Best, but it's more than likely his last season. Yeah. So we should enjoy it as long as it lasts.
I think a lot of Liverpool players are going to be moving as well. So this will be probably one of their very few opportunities to win the title. But yeah, spoiler alert, always Captain Salah. Sorry. If you weren't sure. Talk to me about Aston Villa and their bottled form, losing 4-1 against Palace.
Aston Villa this entire season have been up and down and up and down. Yes, they've got Watkins and Rogers, who are really good players, but it doesn't seem that it's enough. But Unai Emery was like this at Arsenal too. And you know what? Unai Emery has pedigree in knockout competitions. And so you can see that they're still alive in the Champions League.
Yeah.
They still, and I wouldn't be surprised if they run as deep as they possibly can, because he's got that Europa League like wins 3 in a row or something. So I would like to see them go far there, but I don't think for the Premier League, I think they've been a bit of a disappointment. But it's not the biggest deal because they are building something as well. And I mean, they're in a better place than us, than Man United and Spurs.
Yeah.
I would almost say they are better. They have a better. They spent less and they have a better cohesive team than Chelsea, even though Chelsea might be slightly ahead of them right now. So I'm not too worried about them in the long run. But the assets that we have, Rodgers and
Other
Watkins,
ones to have.
they still scoring, they're still getting the points. Villa as a team might not be the strongest in terms of consistency, but Watkins and Rodgers are still definitely players you want to keep in your team till the end of the season. Except they're about to go into a tough run of fixtures, and
And a blank 29 as well.
I'm considering taking out Watkins for the blank and maybe not bringing him in. I have some options for that, but I'm keeping him this week because I don't see a better option right now. Even though they're playing a tricky fixture against Brentford. I still think, yeah, Brentford away. So I still will keep Watkins. I couldn't find the best replacement right now, but I have my eye on a couple of forward players I'm thinking about. You know what I'm thinking about? It's back to Ireland, bro. I think it's time for an end.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it time for a resurface punt on Erling Haaland? Scoring is steadily building points over the last couple of weeks, blanking in the Liverpool game, but scoring again against Spurs, getting them the victory. Yeah, man. What's crazy to me is that Nottingham Forest is a 4 FDR for Man City this game week, so that's going to be very fun.
It's a feisty game. I mean, we don't know what Forest is gonna turn up, and whether they prove their credentials as a big team now. But Man City should derail them. And if I think about Man City out of the League Cup, okay, they're the only team in the FA Cup that's left that's a big giant. The rest are all small teams, right? So they're gonna walk the FA Cup. They're out of the Champions League. So really, for the rest of the season, they're going to be walking the FA Cup while they push on the league to get their position right up. And I won't be surprised if we see a late season resurgence from a Haaland and Pep and Manchester City.
Yeah, you can't count them out. Like, you just can't. So, and Haaland being 14.7 mil, the lowest he's been this season, at 26% owned. It's looking like it might be time to capitalize. So we'll have to keep our eye on this weekend's fixture.
On the other side of it is Wood, because even though Wood has probably the toughest run he's going to have with Forest for the next 4 games, I still want to keep him in my team because I feel like he's just a hardcore points gainer, even though his price point is so much lower than Haaland's. Like half the price.
Yeah, I mean, they held Arsenal to a 0-0 draw. I think if City is anything to go by, it's going to be a goal fest, to be fair. So we'll
but
have
the
to
only
see.
team to beat Liverpool this season.
Yeah, they are. They are. That
So
says
don't
something.
Count them out.
So
don't count
win against Liverpool and a clean sheet draw against Arsenal recently. Yeah. Quickly want to pivot back to Aston Villa Palace game. In that game, I saw that Eberechi Eze is cooking, and I might look to move to him
after the blank.
But I might just move to him anyway and hold him for the blank because he's got Ipswich this week, and then he's got the blank, and then Southampton, and then Brighton. So it might be worthwhile to keep him over that blank and then rotate. The only problem is I have to be careful because I have Rodgers. But I think between Kluivert and Buemo, I should be okay.
Sounds like you're setting yourself up for a free hit for the blank game week.
I'm tempted to do that. I do have 3 free transfers, which is very nice. And I think you might have 2.
I had 3 and I used 1.
2 as in 2-0-2-0. Yeah, you've got 2 as well. So you've got 3. 2. Anyway, yeah, which is nice because it's a mini wildcard.
Oh, they got it now, bro. I've got 3 too.
It took a while. Sorry, United. Anyway, so yeah, I think that's nice to have on top of your wildcard, on top of your free hit. So there's a lot of options for us. My strongest one is to look at potentially moving off Palmer. And I'll have to if I want to bring back Haaland.
No, it's a must, but I would caution anybody against doing that for this last game week.
Mm.
Leicester City. We were licking our lips at Southampton. You licking your lips at Crystal Palace versus Southampton, and Chelsea even beat Southampton, but Palmer didn't get the points. But he could have had a hat trick. There were many times he was in scoring positions, and I think if Palmer is the type of player that even if he's going to blank again, I still think this game against Leicester, whether he scores or not, maybe he does come out eventually, even though he's playing in the double game week. So maybe not even for the blank game week he's playing. So maybe not even that. But I think realistically for the end of the season, I think we've got enough information to suggest that money on Palmer hasn't been paid off for the last 10 game weeks. And I think you are right. It's time to move on Palmer, but I don't think I'd move him on for Leicester.
No,
Leicester's
I
second
agree.
worst team in the league. So I'd keep him in for that.
I agree. I wouldn't move him off just yet either. I'd just wait for that double game or that blank game week and then like pivot your team, either wildcard, free hit, or shuffle with some free transfers. I mean, we're not going to talk about captain choices, are we? Because it's pretty obvious. I don't see anyone
outside of
else.
Salah, is there anybody else? Is there even?
In Southampton at home, like, and Salah loves scoring against Southampton. I mean,
did you just say Southampton at home and Salah in the same sentence?
Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer. It's almost borderline triple captain material. Like,
there's only one thing that I would have as a concern. When
Resting.
is the Capital One Cup final?
Ooh.
Because that is on Sunday, the 16th of March. So if Salah is going to be playing over the next couple of weeks up to that, he hasn't been rested yet, right? He hasn't been.
No, he
But
hasn't.
like, does he get rested over the next couple of weeks? Because they do have Southampton coming up this weekend. Then they have the second round against PSG on Tuesday, and then they have the cup final on Sunday. So now,
A lot of
are you
football.
gonna play Salah in all three games? Like if you are not Klopp but a Slot, if you playing Salah in all three of those games, and if you had to choose two out of the three, which two are you playing him?
I'm definitely, yeah, not Southampton, to be honest.
Yeah, you're resting him Southampton. You subbing him off against PSG once they won the game,
and you're playing him in the derby.
And you're playing him in the cup final because it's a final.
Well, and the Merseyside derbies after that.
No, and there's another thing. So it would be interesting to see how Salah is used. But if we've learned anything over the last couple of weeks, last couple of months, this season, is Salah, whether he plays horrible, will get a goal. When he comes on in a sub, you're going to get a goal. And he hasn't really been rested up to this point, so there's nothing to suggest he will. And I think if he's playing in the Premier League for the last time and maybe targeting, Golden Boot and some individual awards, why not run riot against Southampton? We might see that back in the days when Suarez was scoring 5 goals.
Just for fun, man.
A glut of goals coming from Salah this weekend.
Could be. I think he'll play most of the Premier League games because I don't think Haaland's only 5 goals behind him. And Haaland can score like 6 goals in one game. So if he's also wanting to get the full satisfaction of like, oh, this is my send-off, I've won the league, I've got the golden boot of Champions League, like, he needs to go for these accolades as well to end on a high. So, yeah, I mean, if anything, I think he'll be playing Premier League.
Okay, but moral of the story is Salah captain.
I don't
not even a point.
I don't even think debating a differential for Liverpool. I mean, if you're a madman, you could captain Trent, because Trent might haul. He might clean sheet and haul, definitely. But I would say Salah's just the outright captain choice. If Cole Palmer scored a hat-trick last game, I'd weigh him up. But he's done nothing, so he's not even on my radar. And Mbeumo, Villa home, yes, Villa's shocking, but it's not going to be an easy fixture. You got João Pedro against Fulham, yes, but it's not to the same point as Salah. And then obviously Forest against Haaland or Haaland against Forest. Yeah, it's not the same weight to it, is it?
I think this is a moot point. It's Captain Salah. Everybody just captain.
It should be 100% captained this week.
Yeah,
should break a record for the most captain players. There will be differentials, but yeah.
And if he blanks, it's okay, because I mean, we wonder the first time he blanks. But and if he doesn't play, I think maybe a good idea to keep your. I think if he doesn't play, he'll still come on as a sub though.
To end off today's video, I'm going to do a quick rank reveal type of thing. We'll start with Mike because I know he's lower than me, but He's better than me at Pokemon. Shout out to the Pocketeers. Go subscribe to our other channel. Anyway, Mike, what is your current overall points and your current overall ranking and your current position in Mini League?
Okay. My current points is 1,643. I would say I would have liked to have been about 1,800. So I'm about 150 points short of where I would personally like to be this season. My rank is just under 3 million. So 2.9.
Which isn't bad if you think about it. There's 11.3 million players.
Yeah, but it's still not that.
So
good.
you're in the, I think you're like in the top 30%. So yeah. Anyway.
And then the worst thing, that number I'm going to say is I'm not even in the top 20 of our mini league. I'm sitting at 35. Considering that I've already played my triple captainship, I should be closer to where you are, but I'm not. And that's okay. I'm supporting you.
Shout out to everyone that has joined our mini league. Our mini league is competitive as hell this season. This is probably the highest scoring mini league that I've been a part in for us in the longest time. I mean, the top 6 players all have over 1,800 points, which is insane.
Yeah. But on the other side, flip side of that, you are at like 70 points away from the closest person, Megan Shield, whoever that is.
Yes, so for me, my overall points is 1,917. Very respectable. I'm having a phenomenal season, like Mohamed Salah.
What's your overall rank?
10,674th.
And your overall rank in South Africa?
139th.
Nice.
Impressive.
Nice,
I know.
nice.
And then obviously first in the mini league. But I wanted the goal of breaking top 10K this season. I'm a bit arrogant now, and I would like to break top 5K because I just want to keep going. But I am not upset with that. I can frame this and put it on my wall and like retire from FPL because it's really good. But yeah,
I would love to see you break the ranks in the South African league and just get in that top 10 there. I think you can do it too.
The guy in first place has 2,050 points. So he's only like 130 odd in front of me, which isn't loads if you think about it.
I've done that before to you. I've gained 100 points with 10 games to go. So you can do it.
You have. The problem is everyone's captaining Salah the whole time, which is why I captained Palmer last week, because I thought he would be a great differential. And it would have paid off if it weren't for those meddling kids. Yeah.
This stupid manager.
But what can you do? It was. I think that was probably the safest time to punt, and I'm glad Salah didn't punish me, because if Salah punished me, I would have been way lower. That's where we are. Still had a green arrow, so I'll take it.
Yeah, just a reminder to everyone out there, not Gameweek 28, but 29 is a blank game week. Villa, Liverpool, Arsenal, and Crystal Palace are all not playing. So think about the transfers you are making this week in mind of the blank game week coming up. Don't go crazy on transfers for Palace players. I know Munoz is looking like a solid pick for this week, but keep in mind that he's blanking next week.
Well, I still have Munoz, so I'm just going to keep him, leave him there, let him cook. He's been earning me good points. I'm happy. He's just going to stay there for me.
Any transfers you're thinking about this week? I've made one.
I haven't made any yet. I'm looking at Haaland for Palmer, like genuinely, because I just feel like it might be the game where City break down Haaland, but I'm nervous, so I might do Isak. Sure, I have to think about it.
Isak's got that same problem with the big game coming up, and he's also carries a lot of injuries, so they seem to be protecting him more, because I think they can smell, they can almost lick that trophy. They against Liverpool, so they'll probably protect him a bit. So it's not the worst move, but he does have really nice fixtures.
He does
after the cup. I'm looking at Bournemouth, and I'm going with Kirkes in at the back, because I feel like Bournemouth and Kirkes have been doing really well, as quite solid, and I think that he will take me through the rest of the season. One player I couldn't bring in this week, but I really want to, and I think I'm ready for it now. Should have done it day one of the season. Is Ola Aina. I'm sold on him. I think there's not that many strong scoring defenders this season, so Ola Aina's right up there. Forest are doing really well. If he didn't have such a tough fixture this week, I might have brought him in, but I went with Kirkes instead, and I'll probably look to rebalance my team soon by bringing in Aina as well.
It's a good move, and considering like Lewis Hall is out injured now until June, so he's out for the rest of the season.
He's a sell. He's a sell.
So you just got to get rid of him, which will probably be my immediate move now.
That was my move. It was Hall to.
It's a good move. It's a good move. It's a good move.
Who would you move to?
I already have Hoytson from Bournemouth, so I'd probably move to Aina, but not this week because they're playing City.
You never know, bro.
I might just do it, because I like Hall's not going to do anything for me, so I might as well. If I have to look at my team quickly, my current defense starting lineup is Trent, Munoz, and Robinson, so it's not bad. Hall obviously on the bench, and then Hoytson's playing Spurs, so I'll leave him on the bench. So I'm not too upset with that.
I back your Aina in though, because you know why? He's not going to blank next week.
No, he won't. He won't.
So then you got,
and his price will go up this weekend, definitely.
You've got Trent covered for the blank.
Yeah. And I'll have Hoytson covering Munoz because Hoytson doesn't blank and Munoz does. So I actually think it might be the best move. Yeah.
I back it. I want to see you. I'm not competing with you directly this season, so I need to see you blast the rest of them out of the water, bro.
There we
I'll
go.
just beat you in the next Pokemon tournament again.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But yeah, cool. Well, on that, we'll end today's episode. Thank you guys for watching. And don't forget to subscribe and share it with your friends. I know the content isn't recyclable, but send it while you can. And follow the space because I'm trying to win tickets to a Chelsea game, I guess, because that's what you get for FPL if you come first. We'll see. Cool. Have a good evening. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.